Welcome back for an exciting C# web tutorial dealing with arrays. Arrays are variables that are loaded contiguously, that means right next to each other in memory. Before we do that, I'm going to take you on a quick field trip. What are these? These are solar arrays. If you look, they have 4 panels exactly the same size loaded right up next to each other. It's called a solar panel array. There's 4 of them exactly the same size. Also, here is a 12 by 2 solar panel array. Notice there's 12 on the top and 12 on the bottom. They are all exactly the same size and located right next to each other, adjacent, right in a row. When you're writing arrays in C#, it does the same thing. You notice here we have 5 buttons, 3 up here, 2 here, and a list box called list output. Let's not delay and get right into the declaring of a string array. How you declare an array is you give it the data type, but you put square brackets around the name of the data type. The type of the data type. I could also optionally put them on the name of the variable. Not both, but one or the other. So I'm going to do this. So what I did here is I said I want strings, an array, and I haven't told them how many I want. And right here is the name of the array. And then I say load new string 10, so it allocates 10 in a row. You always put the square brackets when you declare, and you put a value in here when you tell how many you want. If you look here, 0 through 9 is how you access them. There may be 10 elements in the array, but you access them with square brackets. Gives me the first, and the first is accessed with a 0. The last, in this case, there's 10, but I do 9. So notice 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, so on and so forth. I load them up. I can also declare the array on one line, like this. See how this 2 lines becomes 1, such as this. And that's allowed. Your choice, whatever way you want to do it. Now, down here, we call a method called display string array that we pass in the array of strings to that method. This is a nice and easy way of passing in multiple parameters that are the same data type to a method without having to list 10 of them. Can you imagine if I had all 10 of these? I'd have to have them declared 10 times. Let's go down and take a look at the code. And here we are. Remember the 4 easy steps for accessing a method? Who can access it? The return type, the name, and what comes in. Notice it's a string array, and we're going to call it this. We use a for loop. If you recall, there are 3 types of loops that we've covered so far in C#. A for, a while, and a do while. Notice for loops are used highly with processing arrays because you tell it where to start, how to end, and how to increment. This dot length property indicates how many elements are in the array. So it has 10. So remember, you access from 0 through 9. And basically, we get each element in the array and put it out to the screen. All right, let's get down to business and try running this. Let's do string array. Here we are. So what happens is memory. We have these variables, arrays, loaded. This one we're not using. I just showed you how we can declare it. I populated these values into the 1st through the 10th, accessing them 0 through 9. And we're going to step into that method to see what's going on. And do you remember how to do that? What you do is you hit F11, step into. And notice we start at 0, and we go less than the length. I'm going to hover here, and it says 10. So we're going to go 0 through 9, which is 10 if you include 0. And how I access it is I put the name of the array with square brackets using a variable, which right now says 0. Next time through the loop, it becomes 1. And we put out the 2nd element, then the 3rd, then the 4th, then the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and we're going to the 9th. 9 is less than 10. Put out to screen. 9 becomes 10. It's no longer true, and we stop processing. We go back to where we came from. We have the ability to sort an array. This is a class, and this is a method that takes an incoming array and sorts it. And we put it out to the screen, and we call the exact same code again to put that code or the values out to the screen. I am not going to step into the code, and how I can do that is just hit an F10 to step over the code. And there we go. So I loaded up 10 strings in memory, I sorted them and put them back out to the screen. The next thing I want to introduce you to is the integer array. Now notice this is done a little differently. I still have the data type with square brackets indicating its array, and here's its name. But instead of having another statement that says equals new int and how many, I actually within curly braces give out the number of values. So right here I believe I have 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's going to take these values and load them right in memory, right in a row, all integers. So let's see how that works. Notice I call a method called display integer array, and it takes in the array of integers. Notice we have some variables declared called the integer sum, a double for the average, the min, and the max. Now we have a for each. For eaches are the fourth type of loop, and they lend themselves very nicely to processing arrays and collections, or collections that is. All you do is you don't have to tell it where to start or where to end. You put in the name of the array, and for each value that's in it, one at a time, it's put into here and processed. So this would get the first one, put it out to the screen, get the second and third. Let's watch this code execute. So notice it says in array to output, get me the first value and put it into this variable. And I go there, and there's a 90. Process it, and now I have the next value, which is a 100. Process it, with the third value, which is 85. 65, 65, I don't know if there was two 65s, let's go up and look. No, 65, 60, 71, 83, and 77. Alright, so let's come down here, and we have a 71, we process it, 83, 77, no more values in the array, the loop stops. Notice no telling where to start, how to end, and how to increment. It's really nice. And right here, it has a built-in method called sum. The name of the array .sum will return the sum, and it'll give you the average of all the values in it. This only works on integer arrays, and it gives you the min and the max. We put them out to the screen. It's quite powerful and quite nice. And I'm just going to hit F5 to run it, and there you go. Here are the array values. I passed all 8 of these into that method, and it gave me the sum, the average, the min and max, as well as put them out to the screen. I just want to show you something, that these arrays are quite powerful. They have methods such as the average that we can use, and a bunch of other methods, the last, the min, the max, as I've already shown you. The last thing I got to show you is how to do multiple dimensional arrays, and I'm going to bring you back to this visual. Notice I had one row with 12 and a second row with 12. So in memory, you can declare an array that has a row in columns. Think of an Excel spreadsheet. So we're going to go back here to my example, and I'm actually going to just go to the form. And we're going to click on what we call rectangular arrays, or also known as two-dimensional arrays. And how you declare those is you still have the square brackets, but you put a comma to say there's going to have a row and a column. This is the first row, first column, second column. Second row, first column, second column. Third row, first column, second column. So we have 3 rows and 2 columns for a total of 6 elements. And let's see how we process those. Let's go into this method called the display rectangular array. And you need 2 loops, one to handle the row going down and another to handle the columns going across. So let's put a quick breakpoint in right here. Let's run this because time is limited. Okay, we declare an array with 3 rows, 2 columns. We call a method called display integer rectangular array. And we come in, we process starting with row. Remember, you always access them 0 to 1 less. So start 0. And this right here is a little more complicated, but you have to do the array name and do the get length of the first row, and it will tell you how many. And we do a line output. Then we go into the column. So we're going down down here, and then we're going to go this way. Then we're going to do the next row and this way. So we process each column. I build and line of output. We come out. I go on to the second row and process it. And this is the output. Fortunately, we don't have to do too much with two-dimensional arrays. I hope you enjoyed your intro.